It's 7 p.m. on January the 21st, 2026. I call this meeting to order. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay, up next we have roll call. Ms. Martinez.
Okay, Mayor, I believe Counselor Carson's running late. He texted earlier. But all other counselors are present and a quorum has been declared.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Martinez. The next thing we have on the agenda is the agenda approval. Counselor Young-Vigil.
Mayor, I move that we approve the agenda as presented. Hopefully, Mr. Carson shows up and he's able to participate in the meeting.
Okay,
I'll second.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, please start voting. Ms. Martinez?
The motion carried unanimously.
Okay, up next, we have a citizen comment. This is the segment on the agenda to where we ask the community members who filled out their comment cards to come up to the podium and make your comments. We do limit all comments to 3 minutes. If you're still speaking at the 3-minute mark, I will politely ask you to end making your comments at that time. We do ask that anyone in the audience not to cheer or jeer or to interrupt what the person is saying, because we want to make sure that they get everything out that they want to say. This is a time on the agenda where city council and staff don't go back and forth if you present us with any types of questions during the citizen comment. However, if you stay throughout the meeting and possibly to the end, at sometimes if your issue comes up, council may make comments in the comment sections and staff may follow up when asked to at the end of the council comment part. We do ask that everyone practice civility, being mindful and respectful of the people who are talking. I have one comment card before we go to the Zoom participants. Lance Cheslock.
Good evening, everyone. I kind of have a heavy heart. Today, I learned of 2 exposure deaths in our homeless population, Lawrence and Lydia. And, we're pretty broken up by it. It's really hard. I want to acknowledge that there's always contributing factors to exposure deaths, but they still are exposure deaths. We work so hard. The city, incredible partners, other folks, partners, La Puente, our team works so hard. And, I don't have a solution. This is not about blame or anything. I don't have a solution. It's just like, let's all just continue to learn, to find understanding and to find what will it take to have a year where we don't have an exposure death. So just a heavy heart. Wanted to elevate those 2 lives, that the purpose may be that it motivates us to just continue to look for solutions. So thank you all for your service to the community. You do a lot.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez, I don't have any comment cards, so I'm going to go and let's open it up to the Zoom participants. If you could share with them how to raise their hand to be recognized.
Yes, sir. If you're on the Zoom app and you want to speak for public comment right now, you'll use the raise hand feature in the bottom of your screen. If you're on a telephone, you're going to dial *9. Okay, Mayor, I don't see anyone choosing to raise their hand.
Okay, I don't see any hands either, so we'll close the citizen comment segment and we'll turn it back over to staff for any further comment before we go on to the next agenda item.
Mayor, there is no staff comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to consent calendar A. Councilor Young-Vigil.
Mayor, I move that we approve consent calendar A.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, please start voting. Ms. Martinez?
The motion carried unanimously.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to the next item on the agenda, regular business. Alamosa creates annual update.
I have some handouts for you all. Good evening, Council. Thank you so much for making time to listen to our updates. My name is Ladis Feliciano, and I am the chair of Alamosa Creates. And we are lucky to have a couple of our members in the room. If you guys could raise your hands and just say hello, smile. We have so much to report on today. I'm very, very excited to be here. But before I go into kind of all of the things that we've been up to, I just want to say thank you to council and to the city at large for all of your support for Alamosa Creates. This effort is so incredibly collaborative, so community driven, and the support we've had from the city and from all of you on council, especially Don Krebs, our council representative. We're just really, really grateful for all of you. So thank you. So just to refresh us, Alamosa Creates is Alamosa's official creative district committee. The creative district program is run by Colorado Creative Industries, which is our state's arts agency, and it's housed within the Office of Economic Development and International Trade. Currently, there are 37 certified creative districts across the state. So our hope, our plan, our vision is that Alamosa Creates will be on that list of certified creative districts across the state of Colorado. The Creative District program is designed to really elevate the arts in a community through community engagement and really uplifting the economic development opportunities that the arts provide as well. So we're really excited about this effort, and we've been working really, really hard. So just a couple things that we've been up to in 2025. So first and foremost, we began working on our action plan, and the action plan is an essential part of our full application that we will send to CCI to officially become a creative district. We had a really productive meeting with Christy Costello, who runs the Creative District program at CCI, in about March of 2025. And she gave us some really good advice. She was really excited to hear about what we're doing here in Alamosa. And she advised us that we needed to complete our community engagement plan before we can apply for official certification. So we hit the ground running on all of our community engagement. And our plan is to submit to the state to be certified in 2026 when the application opens. So we're on the edge of our seats for that date to open up, and we will be ready. A couple other things we did in 2025. We led 5 community engagement sessions across Alamosa to get input and ideas from our community members about what a creative district actually should look like for Alamosa. Those 5 community engagement sessions included Adams State University, Boys and Girls Club, SLV Museum, right here in City Hall, and the Rio Grande Farm Park. They were all really well attended. The average attendance was about 17 people per event, and we got a lot of really great feedback, ideas. We started with a presentation about the Creative District program, and then really dove into some hands-on art making and conversation with community. Those meetings were really, really productive and really, really exciting. We also reviewed art piece submissions for the 2025-2026 Alamosa Creates Art Festival and worked with the city to place the sculptures around downtown. We also supported Visit Alamosa in our First Fridays program. We voted on an Alamosa Creates logo, which you can see on your handout. We also held an incredibly well-attended artist reception on Friday, February 12th during our Art Fest weekend of celebrations. And that event was so exciting because we really opened up our guest list to include artists of all kind and including our youth artists. And so we had a really wonderful attendance, including youth artists and their families. And then we, of course, worked with the city to promote and produce our art festival. Alamosa Creates Arts Festival was really, really successful in 2025. We did things a little bit different this year. We decided to move the festival outside and do sort of a block party style on San Juan. We took up both blocks right there on San Juan off of Main Street. We had Salida Circus doing their circus activities. We had a bunch of art vendors, artists set up there on the block, live music, food trucks. And the energy was just so infectious and so exciting that this is kind of going to be the cornerstone of our Arts Fest moving forward. We also added a youth art showcase to the Arts Fest, which is our way of really nurturing and encouraging our young artists, our young creatives across Alamosa. There's so much creative energy in this place, as we all know. And again, we saw those youth show up to see their art hung up. We saw the ear-to-ear grins, the pride, and their families came out, which was really, really promising and encouraging to see. We know that supporting the youth will really nurture the community at large. We also continue to have our working groups. So we have 3 working groups outside of the committee: marketing and design, outreach and community engagement, and our administration and fundraising committees, or working groups rather. And they met regularly throughout the year to plan all of these events, plan these engagements, and they are continuing to meet, set new goals, and work hard towards our deadlines to meet that state application. And then the last thing that we did in 2025 was we launched our Alamosa Creates Community Input Survey. This is also going to be integral to our application process. You will see a QR code on your handout there. So you can all take the survey, because we would love to hear from each of you on council what you want to see in a creative district. And then moving forward in 2026, if you can imagine, we will probably be busy. We are going to continue to promote the survey. Right now, the survey is a real kind of focus of our energy because we want to get as much input as we can. We're going to complete that action plan and then include that action plan in our full application to the state. We'll continue to convene those working groups, doing new projects and new goals and endeavors. We're also going to be working with the Alamosa Chamber on a mural project, which we're very, very excited about, thanks to the support of City Council. And then, of course, we will continue to support the Alamosa Creates Annual Arts Festival, the Downtown Sculpture Project, and First Fridays. And then one thing I think everybody in this room is really excited about is we will be working with the city to add any information needed on the Alamosa Creates page of our new city website. So that's all I've got. Again, really, really grateful for all that you do to support this work. And I'm excited to see your responses to our survey.
All right, so don't leave yet. We have some council members who may have some comments for your
Please.
questions, okay? Counselor Liz Hensley and then Counselor Cripps.
So I just want to say, obviously, your excitement and energy is just so infectious. And I love hearing everything you're doing as a member of the Main Street Committee. This has gone so much better than we could even have imagined. And honestly, it's your team. I mean, it really is all of the passion and love that you guys all have for the arts, but for our city as well. And just want to thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Counselor Hensley. Counselor Cripps.
Thank you, Mayor. You mentioned hit the ground running, but you didn't mention that we'd never stop. So
Literally.
this is, I love all my committees, but you're probably my secret favorite. There's a room full of creatives that get together and gel the way this committee has is just an amazing thing to watch. And it is an honor to serve on it and just watch it move forward and just keep growing from here. So thank you for everything that you do to keep everyone on track and for working with the city council and everything. And a huge thanks to the committee for everyone bringing their 110% to the game. Thanks.
Thank you, Dawn.
Okay, and I'll wrap things up. I can see why your committee members and council and staff all like you because you're a positive energy. You know, attitudes are contagious and yours is worth catching. So keep up the great work.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you all so much, and big thanks to our committee members who are in the room and everyone who's been part of this awesome journey. Appreciate you all.
Okay, thank you. All right. That brings us to the next item on the agenda, the appointment of Citizen Street Advisory Committee members.
Okay, council, so this appointments for your street committee back in 2019 with resolution number 3. You guys previously established the ad hoc committee to advise council on establishing a priority list of streets to be upgraded, and you intend to place a question of extending the tax for the street sales tax. It's a 1/2 cent sales tax that was approved by electors in 2019, and you are going to be placing that before electors at this November's election. And so you guys wanted to create this Citizen Streets Committee again to help with the choosing those priorities of streets. So the committee is comprised of 15 members consisting of the following: 2 residents from each ward, 2 residents at large, 2 representing major employers or economic development committee or the chamber, representative from the county as designated by the county administrator or board of county commissioners, Alamosa school bus driver representative, and a youth representative. We received 12 applications, all of which were qualifying applicants. You interviewed those applicants on January 7th and 14th, and you will need to appoint the board members by way of a vote. So you do have your ballots in front of you. If you can vote those, that'd be great. And then I'll announce your votes at the end. And then just to note, John Adams had originally applied for the Ward 1 seat, but since he works at SLV Health, he agreed to be appointed to that category since no applications were received there. And then Brian Pucciarella, he lives in Ward 1, and he agreed to be a representative for Ward 1 too, if you guys chose that.
Thank you.
Mayor, my apologies for being late. I was at work, so I just got out.
Okay, we documented it up front for you. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys have voted. For Ward 1, will appoint Brian Pucciarella and Louis Bausch. I don't know how to say her name. For Ward 2, Daryl Cooper, who was the only applicant in that ward. Ward 3, Angel Baylon and Don Thompson. Ward 4, Sandra Ortega and Toby Kramer. The at-large, Charles Grego and Esteban Salazar. And major employer, John Adams for SLV Health. And then we did not have a youth representative apply. So if you can make a motion to appoint those individuals, that'd be great.
Mayor Coleman, I move that we approve and assign those folks who applied according to our vote tonight to the Streets Committee.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? If not, please start voting. Ms. Martinez?
The motion carried unanimously.
Okay, thank you. All right, that brings us to the next item on the agenda. Parks and Recreation. Second reading and public hearing for ordinance number 1-2026, an ordinance approving an intergovernmental agreement between various governmental entities within the San Luis Valley Generation Wild Coalition and the City of Alamosa for implementation of the 2026 through 2030 Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund Generation Wild.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good
Council. I think you said it all in the title there. So this is our public hearing and second reading of this ordinance. It's an IGA because we have governmental entities in the Gen Wild grant. This is around $2 million over 5 years to get kids and families outside. And having an IGA keeps the partners accountable and roles and responsibilities clear. With that, if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay, so what we'll go ahead and do is open up the public hearing for ordinance number 1-2026, an ordinance approving an intergovernmental agreement between various governmental entities within the San Luis Valley Generation Wild Coalition and the City of Alamosa for implementation of the 2026 through 2030 Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund Generation Wild. If we have anyone in the audience who would like to come up to the podium and make any comments during this public hearing, now would be the time to do so. Okay, I don't see anyone in the audience coming to the podium, so Ms. Martinez will go ahead and give the Zoom participants an opportunity to participate in this public hearing. If you could share with them how to raise their hand to be recognized.
Yes, sir. If you're on the Zoom app and you want to speak for this public hearing, you'll use the raise hand feature in the bottom of your screen. If you're on a telephone, you'll dial *9.
I don't see any hands raised. Do you, Ms. Martinez?
I do not.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any comments, questions, motions. Councilor Young-Vigil?
I'm ready to make a motion, Mayor.
Yes.
I move and approve on second reading ordinance number 1-2026.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Andy, I want to thank you and your team for all the work that you all do, making sure projects like this happen. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, if not, please start voting.
The motion carried unanimously.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to the next item on the agenda, under City Clerk, Municipal Court, selection of Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Martinez.
Okay, council, after every election, you guys select a mayor pro tem to serve for a 2-year appointment. So I believe we've only heard from one of you who's interested, but if you guys want to discuss that, you can. And if there's more than one of you, we can do a ballot if you want to. If not.
I'll let council speak up. Anybody want to like their mic? Yes.
I'm a history teacher, so I want to just provide a little bit of history for the new folks on here. And Ms. Hensley and Mayor and Don speak up, and Carson speak up if I'm wrong, but I was Mayor Pro Tem from 19 to 21. I think Mr. Grego was 21 to 23, and Ms. Hensley from 23 to now. And I think we've talked about just rotating it through to give everybody a look and get a chance to do it. So.
Okay, Councilor Young-Vigil, Councilor Hensley. I think you were the only one I've heard from so far, but I haven't heard from anyone else. So I just want everybody, this is an open format for.
So what I would
everyone
say,
to Make conversations or anything.
so what I would say is I am totally, if somebody else wants to do their turn, I'm totally good with that. If not, I know my schedule allows for it, and so I'm okay and would be honored to obviously do it again. But at the same time, I would support if anybody else wants to do it.
Mark, were you about to touch the light? Okay. Counselor Carson,
I would ask Dawn how she feels about it.
Dawn is very excited for Liz to do it for another time.
Thank you for your honest answer.
No, I'm just, I have a couple of things going on work-wise and personal life-wise and stuff. And so I don't feel that my schedule is as open to give the position its full attention that it deserves. And I'd be doing it injustice at this point in time. But thank you for the nomination.
And I asked that just because to add to Counselor Jan Vihil's history, I've been here like a long time and I have not been mayor pro temp. And have no desire to be mayor pro temp. So I would, unless
Jackie.
just for the natural order of things and from a kind of a tenure standpoint, I would be okay with Liz continuing unless Mark or Jackie were interested in it. I mean, if you are, speak up. We will support you. I just don't, when I came onto council, I didn't have Liam, and now I have Liam, and so he's a much bigger part of my life, so that does take up a lot more time. Liz has more time than I do, and so as much as I would love to and be honored to, I would be okay with Liz continuing. Again, unless one of you guys want to give it a shot, I would support you in it.
okay, I see Counselor Jackie Vigil, Mike.
So I'm in favor of Liz continuing because I wish I had the time to do it. And I don't have the time. I care for my mom. And so I just don't have the time to commit to it. So I'm in favor of you, Liz.
I would go back to Jan Vihil. Are you interested?
No, just because I was it 4 years ago and
Well, I know, but
I think you've done a phenomenal job, phenomenal. And all your work with CML and representing us at the state level, it's been awesome. I'm just looking at it as,
right.
let's get someone new in there. So I was thinking of either Mike or Don or Jackie. Mark, you're awesome, but you're really, really brand new. So maybe a couple of years yet, but it sounds like these two don't want it. How about you, Jackie?
No, I don't think I have the time to,
Working on her.
I really can't commit to the time.
I do have one comment. As awesome as I would be at it, you know what I mean? I would be really, really great, but no, I would really support and nominate Liz to continue or make a motion that Liz continue her service. Would that be acceptable as a motion, Eric?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Before we vote, I do want to make a comment. I want to thank all of you all for your comments and everybody willing to share your thoughts and sincere feelings about that position. It does require a lot of time, and Liz has done a wonderful job, as well as Jan Vigil and Charlie, and all of you would make great mayor pro tems, but it does require a lot of time, and we really appreciate that you're honest and sincere, letting everyone know what type of capacity you have. So as a team, Liz does a wonderful job representing us. I was at CML last week, and all they talk about is Liz all the time with how she represents the Alamosa and the San Luis Valley. So we have a motion, we have a second. No further discussion. If we could have everyone to please start voting. Ms. Martinez.
The motion carried unanimously.
I guess I would just say thank you for your support. I wouldn't say I have more time than all of you. I just have flexibility in my time. But I always look at us that we're all a team. And I know there's even times that when I'm asked to do something and I can't do it, that you've all stepped up as well. So I look at us all that we all do this together.
Teamwork make dreams work. All right, let's go to the next item on the agenda. Motion authorizing the expenditure of up to $10,000 for the public education of the renewal of the dedicated street sales tax.
I just want to add a side note to the previous conversation that Liz has definitely represented us very well at the state level and all of that. I also want to complain that the mayor has definitely put us on the radar at the state level too with that speech. As our IT director was talking to some community on the Eastern Plains, they said, "Oh, we know Alamosa and Ty." So I just want to begrudgingly say, when we go to CML again, I think we're still going to have a reputation thanks to the mayor's speech. So.
But thank you for those kind words, and thank you, Brenda.
So the item before council tonight is to authorize the expenditure of up to $10,000 for public education for the renewal of our dedicated street sales tax. I think anytime we talk about this, it's important to make sure that we provide the information of what the history of this tax and what this tax provides, because tax isn't always a good word to talk about. And so I want to make sure we add that context. In 2019, the Alamosa voters approved the half-cent dedicated street tax that locked in 16 streets for full reconstruction, funding for maintenance, and funding for sidewalks. The streets were first prioritized by the Alamosa Citizen Street Advisory Committee, of which you guys have created the 2026 Citizen Street Advisory Committee. They were then approved by City Council, and then these streets were locked in with the Resolution 13-2019. The priority of being accountable to the voters cannot be understated. That at every step, council tried to add every layer of accountability into that process. This tax will sunset in 2029. That's another aspect of accountability. If we don't perform as we've promised and it's not producing the results that the citizens feel that it should, then they simply do not renew the tax. That is the other part of the accountability. When it sunsets, it will have brought in over $19 million, and 100% of that has been used on those streets identified in Resolution 13-2019. As we look at this sunset in 2029, we realize that we need at least a 2-year head start to be able to know what streets are identified, get them designed and engineered in order to get them before the utilities in case there needs to be any movement of those out of the right of way. So we are now discussing bringing the renewal of this tax to the voters this November in 2026. If approved, it would add an additional 10 years to where it would expire January 1st, 2040. In 2019, our Citizen Street Committee identified over 80 streets that needed to be repaired for a total of 21.76 miles. They prioritized 16 of those streets. That's how far the money could go. Out of 80, it could cover 16 for the 10-year dedicated street tax. That left at that point in time, for the condition of the roads, 64 streets that still needed significant repairs. The extension of this tax would allow us to circle back and look at those 64 streets, or if there's others that have become a priority since that time. The cost per block for reconstructing a street has increased from $300,000 in 2019 to $540,000 today. Public education materials and the in-kind staff time is what will go up to the 10,000. So some of that is tracking of staff time to prepare the materials, and some of that is hard cost. The items we are looking at are postcards that would be mailed to residents, some short videos highlighting streets, yard signs that would be distributed by City Council, paid advertising, and then, as I said, the value of staff time to prepare these materials. Of that 10,000, about half is just tracking of staff time, about half, 5,000, is hard costs. So the question before you is if you want to authorize up to 10,000 for both hard costs and the tracking of staff time for the public education.
Okay. All righty, that's it. All right, thank you for that thorough report. Appreciate it. Okay, Counselor Hensley.
So I guess I would just say is that this really shows, I really loved the process that we had last time. It really made a difference having it be totally community driven and the feedback from the community being so transparent, and the success that this has had. And I do feel from what I hear in the community, even some of those who said we voted no on the tax, but boy, we were really happy with what's been happening. And then everybody I've heard has been satisfied with voting yes on that tax. So with that, I would move, unless there's more discussion, that we go ahead and authorize up to $10,000 to be dedicated to the public education for the renewal of the dedicated street sales tax.
Second.
Counselor Martinez.
I just have a quick question. Is
Sure.
there any way we could get a breakdown of the 5,000 that's being spent? You know, what's being spent on door knockers, what's being spent on signage and videos and stuff like that?
So your yard signs, and again, these are all estimates because we're not exactly sure how many radio spots we're going to do, how much of the Facebook. So we were estimating, maybe 30 days on Facebook, different things like that. From a Facebook advertisement, and honestly, when this adds up, it's a little over 10,000. So it's going to be less because we won't exceed 10,000. Facebook would be 600, radio about 1,300, the Alamosa Citizen advertisement 700, Valley Courier 1,300, video 1,500, postcards that includes the printing and mailing of 1,600. Yard signs of 540, and then again, trying to figure out an estimate on staff time because it's hard to know exactly how much time it might take. Of my time, $845 worth, Harry, 491, and Jasmine, about 1,700.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Krebs.
Thank you, Mayor. What I'm hoping to see, and I'm sure you've already thought this through, is that from the advertising perspective, because the current street is almost over, but it was a 10-year block of time, and is to not just educate the public on the upcoming, but to also remind them of everything that's been done with the money with what's happening now. Because now they're probably just thinking Second Street, but if they go back and if you have a way of going back in time, the tax also covered this, and this. And I think it's just a reminder to people that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And they might forget, oh yeah, that street was done 9 years ago and that kind of thing. So that's all I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, so the education will include that. And then that's also why on the street signs that are on those streets, we're putting the stickers completed. So it can send that visual reminder that this is still one of those streets that was completed.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other lights on. I'll just wrap up the discussion because we already have a motion and a second. I want to commend staff on bringing this to council. Right now, that $10,000, knowing exactly how much it really costs to run campaigns and to get things done and to be effective, be efficient. And we really need the community to get behind this project. I really think at this time, we're going to look back several years and realize $10,000, we were fortunate to be able to do what we're going to do with that small amount of money because things cost so much more now. So thank you for the breakdown, and thank you to the staff and team for putting this together to bring to council. Okay, we have a motion, second. No further comments. Please start voting. Okay,
The motion carried unanimously.
thank you. Okay, That brings us to the next item on the agenda, right here. Art selection. This is the fun part, selection of art.
So we go from millions of dollars of projects to approximately $10,000.
Yep.
But we will still have a lot of discussion. As you know, we try to rotate out 15 pieces every year through that rotation program. And then council has tried to purchase maybe a piece or two every year in order to grow that and have even more than just the 15 that we're rotating in and out every single year. Because of some last minute issues, we technically only have 13 new pieces this year, but when you add that to the pieces that council has purchased, we have about 25 pieces of art displayed in the central business district. When we look at the money that we saved from last year, which was the first year council decided to not purchase an art piece, combined with the money that was remaining in 2025, so I should say 2024 carried over and saving in 2025, we have about $10,000. So you don't have to spend the full 10,000. You don't have to pick an art piece, but you could also, sometimes you spend a little bit more and it doesn't break the bank. It's just, we like to make sure you know how much money is available. The other item we like to provide for council is a reminder on which one was presented People's Choice Award. And so this will pop out when we do the presentation here in a bit as well. But Jody Bliss, her piece Ladder to the Moon, which is 9,600. Alamosa Creates also took a look and they picked what their top three are, which also includes Ladder to the Moon, Cloud 9 by Justin Deester for 5,600, and Eternal Echoes by Charlotte Zink for 8,000. And so now we're just going to go through the pieces as a reminder of what they look like. So the first one, Ladder to the Moon, again, that was a People's Choice and one of the top three recommended by Alamosa Creates. Oh, thank you. Cloud 9 was one of the top three recommended by Alamosa Creates. Eternal Echoes by Charlotte Zink was also recommended. And then in no particular order, we have Bloom by Kasha. Why? Whimsical Heart. Circle of Life. Perpetual Springtime. Agate. Haiku 3.0. Last one in. Recharge Totem. And at this point, we usually turn it over to council and you guys have your discussion.
All right, council. I'll let you all light up your mics and we'll have a discussion. So we have $10,000. We're gonna try to see how we can best use that $10,000 purchasing art. We could buy something this year or you can let the money accumulate. But if you see some things you think you would like to use the funds for this year, we'll talk about it. Councilor Yanville.
Mayor,
And it could be a combination of things too.
Mayor, do we have any left over from last year?
So that 10,000 is all the leftover put together.
Yes, everything combined.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had carryover from saving 6,000 in the 2024 budget and a remaining, because you didn't spend anything. And then we had remaining 4,000 in the 2025 budget, so that allows for 10,000.
And if you can always, if you wanted to use two pieces that come up to the 10,000, that's another option, or three pieces if they came up to that, or it could be one if council feels there is one that just stands out,
Not this year, Mayor.
you know,
We can't do any combos this year.
it's pretty tight.
All right, I feel like everybody's afraid to start, so I don't mind
Okay.
starting. I'll just throw it out there. I'll throw my mud against the wall. So personally, my favorite, it's probably because I'm more of a colorful person. I really like the whimsical heart. I think it's that one. Let me just double check that I'm not lying. But at the same time, since it was both the People's Choice and the committees, I actually do like Ladder to the Moon as well. So I guess if I was to throw my 2 cents worth, those would be my 2 favorites.
Okay. Somebody might want to start making notes. Okay. All right. So what we can do, we can go to Council Carson next.
I'll just recommend that I'm in favor of purchasing perpetual springtime.
Okay.
I like that. I mean, the color's cool. I'm not for outdoorsy. I just think it's cooler than the rest. Again, I'm not nothing jumps out at me, but I like that one, so I'd be in favor of purchasing that one if we're gonna spend some money.
Okay. Thank you, Council Carson. Councilor Jackie Behill.
I like the Eternal Echoes. So that's the one I'm recommending.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Councilor. See who hasn't.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'm with Jackie Viho. I like that one too.
Okay.
Eternal Echoes.
Councilor Cribbs.
I also like Eternal Echoes. And I also like Whimsical Heart. So if I had to choose 2, that would be the 2 I would go with.
Okay. Councilor Martinez.
So the 2 I am favoring of is Agate and Whimsical Hearts. Whimsical Hearts probably my favorite of the 2.
Okay.
So
All right. So mine would be Bloom. And what we can do is see if we can have a tally so far what we got, narrow it down, because I heard several council members come up with 1 or 2.
Okay.
Council
So,
Carson, you were about to say something.
sorry.
And Councilor Krebs were about to say something. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the Whimsical Moon, is that what it's called? Okay, Whimsical Heart is the same artist as the Perpetual Springtime, so it's kind of got the same feel. So I like that one, but I also, my second choice was Agate. I like that one too. So if we're gonna spend money, I would prefer spending it on one of those 2. The other, nothing else really jumps out at me, except the first choice, but you know,
Okay.
those 2 are fine.
What was that second one you just said, Councilor?
Agate. It's
Agate.
the obsidian looking one, kinda. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so for the tally, we've got 2 that I think have 3 votes. Whimsical Heart and Eternal Echoes. And then Agate or Agate has 2. And then we've got 3 that have 1, Ladder to the Moon, Perpetual Springtime, and Bloom.
Okay. So council, would it be fair that we narrow it down to the top 2 that y'all voted on and then see how we go from there? Would that be okay with you all? Okay, so if you could show pictures of the top 2 that we've come to agree to
Okay.
so far.
So Whimsical Heart by Kyle Cuniff. It is 6,800. And then it'll be back towards the top. Eternal Echoes by Charlotte Zink is 8,000.
Okay. All righty. So would it be fair for us to vote now and see how we feel about those 2?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So how do y'all want to do this here?
Mayor, I might suggest you just go down the line.
Okay.
And each one pick one or the other.
All right. How about we do that, Councilor Yanvigo?
Okay, just let me delete the previous scratches. Okay, go.
Echoes.
Echo.
Okay, and speaking to the mic, if you turn your mic on. Okay,
You guys are.
okay, it goes, okay. Council Cribs,
Whimsical Heart.
Whimsical Heart,
Echoes.
Whimsical Heart.
Oh my gosh, I'm the tiebreaker. Whimsical heart. Sorry.
it's close, it's close. Really close.
Okay, so there's four. So do you want them to do a motion or are we just good with that?
I think we're good with that.
Okay,
Okay.
we're good.
Can I add the good thing on that is it gives us some more money for
Roll over
next
to
year.
Yep. So we're okay with that, selecting that piece, and then,
I'm sorry to vacillate. I think a motion would be cleaner. That would get the entire council's
Okay.
support behind it.
So I move that we purchase Whimsical Heart as our choice for purchasing of art at the price of $6,800.
I'll second, but can I also add though that we do carry over the money into, okay.
so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, if not, please start voting. Somebody's, there we go. Okay,
The motion carried unanimously.
good job, council. It was tough. Good job, good job. Okay, that brings us to the next item on the agenda, Development Services, public hearing and second reading for ordinance number 2-2026, an ordinance amending an intergovernmental agreement with the Colorado Department of Transportation for the revitalized Main Street grant for the Hunt Avenue Cultural Trail.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council.
Good evening.
So this is short and sweet. This is another IGA because it's a governmental entity. It's to receive $178,566 from CDOT in order to move forward with our Hunt Avenue project. It's from their Multimodal Opportunity Fund, the MMOF money. We were really lucky to be selected by our transportation planning region, and it's another almost $200,000 to get our project done. So we would love your approval for this one.
Okay, thank you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the public hearing for ordinance number 2-2026 and ordinance amending an intergovernmental agreement with the Colorado Department of Transportation for the revitalized Main Street grant for the Hunt Avenue Culture Trail. If we have anyone in the audience who would like to make any comments during this public hearing, now would be the time to come up to the podium. Okay, don't see anyone in the audience coming to the podium, so we'll go to the Zoom participants to give them a chance to participate. Ms. Martinez, can you give them instructions on how to raise their hands?
Yes, sir. If you're on the Zoom app and you want to speak for this public hearing, you'll use the raise hand feature in the bottom of your screen. If you're on a telephone, you're going to dial *9. Okay,
Okay.
Mayor, I don't see anyone choosing to raise their hand.
Okay, I don't see any hands raised either, so we'll close the public hearing and I'll bring it back to council for comments or a motion. Councilor Carson,
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2-2026 on second reading.
Second.
we have a motion, second. Any further discussion? If not, please start voting.
The motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel. Appreciate you. Okay, that brings us to the next item on the agenda, committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Councilor Krebs?
Thank you, Mayor. I had 3, but one was done for me earlier tonight with Alamosa Creates, and I can't top that one, so I'm just gonna let that one go. Then I had a meeting with the senior center, and they did a review of 2025 that I thought was worth mentioning. When they looked over 2025, total programs offered in 2025 was 743. That didn't include the meals, but 743. And 2025 was the first year that it was an entire year of those Thursday meals being served by the senior center. And meals served on Thursdays in 2025 was 1,837, and with 846 home delivered. So they're going strong, and they're only looking to increase things from there, in the sense of they're looking to get some more nighttime programming, possibly some Saturday programming, and opening up the senior center hours even more. So that's the senior center. The Alamosa Housing Authority had their meeting, and some of the highlights, only 2 or 3 highlights here. They were doing a unit remodel. They completed the section of unit remodels that they were doing, and now they're starting to target another section of units to remodel. So they're going good with that. They're currently doing an energy audit for all 199 units, and they had a HUD inspection update, and they scored a 98. So very, very high on their HUD inspection. So congratulations for that. So, and that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Krebs. Councilor Hensley?
Yeah, I had 2 meetings. So we did the tree board meeting. And so really kind of did a review of the year, started to look at this year. Obviously, we get close to the month where we're going to honor our trees and have lots of great, exciting activities. So I probably will have more to report on that next meeting or next time I have an update. One of the nice things is we've been doing the tree cost sharing program, and every year we tweak it a little, we streamline it, we do some different things. It continues to have some growth. We're moving to an online application, which I think will help in a lot of ways. But anyway, so super excited about that. Changed a little bit of dates again, trying to help to make sure we plant the trees at the right time. And we did start discussing a little bit about potentially some tree pruning cost sharing, still in discussion. So hopefully you'll have more to report on that next time. I also went to the golf board meeting, record year of $858,307. Continue growth in golf. I will say John and his team have done a great job. One of their goals for this year is to really increase the golf lessons. There just continues to be growth, especially with the youth, and also that idea of even people, not youth, that are trying to learn golf and or they don't have to be experts, but just feeling like they're getting a little better. And so he's got some new tactics and new things there to help even show those small little gains that you get in golf. Because with golf, a lot of times it's those small gains to help people feel more motivated and seeing the excitement in it. But without a doubt, the golf course is doing really well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Council, for your reports. Okay, that brings us to the next item on the agenda. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, Council Carson, I didn't see it.
You're good. I just wanted to report on the, something that came up in the roundtable to put this on Eric's radar and Dawn's radar. The IBCC and the CWCB are starting their hard push for the new water plan that's gonna be, they're starting it's like a 7-year process, but they're taking a lot of input now on new water sharing, like new types of water sharing agreements, rotational fallow, things like that, that's gonna affect the way municipalities can approach water needs in the future. It gave me some angst in thinking about some of the doors that it could open up for municipalities outside of the valley. So if we could look at what the 1041 commission, how that's gonna apply, how that's gonna, how they're gonna, if it's a positive or a negative effect, but just something to think about and put on your radar. It's called Low and No Regrets. It's the new campaign that's the name of the campaign that they're gonna be pushing through, and it's for that IBCC and CWCB, the Colorado Water Plan. So they're gonna push hard. It's gonna be a hard push. As you can tell, they're starting, they're being proactive with it, but they're gonna start taking input soon, this as early as this spring. And so it's probably a good idea to start getting in on what they're gonna do, how that's gonna look, what that new 1041 process is gonna do. So just to put that on your guys' radar.
Thank you, Councilor Carson. Thank you. Okay, no more committee reports. We'll go to staff announcements.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome.
As Andy makes his way up with some updates, I'll just remind you that you do have more interviews next Wednesday. I think it's going to be a long one. And so, Holly, am I correct that pizza or something might be provided? So,
Yeah.
we want you to keep your energy up. I think, in the past when there's, been food provided, maybe it was a little awkward to eat and ask questions. So we'll have that there for you, about 15 minutes early if you want to try to get there, eat and not have to have your mouth full of food when you're asking questions.
And then also on that meeting, council, I have a work-related meeting in Denver. So I will be participating by Zoom on those interviews. Okay.
And Mayor, for me, it's the first time in my career as a basketball coach. We have a game on a Wednesday night. I have a game next Wednesday night, so I won't be there.
Okay. Ms. Martinez, if you could document those for us. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Councilor Carson and Councilor Hensley's update spurred some news that I wanted to share with you around water and golf. And that was one, the golf course was 20 acre feet under our allotment with the new back nine system. So really good savings, and that was a really good project. But also they were chosen to host this fall the boys 3A Chassa State Championship, and that was kind of a career goal of our superintendent, and it's just really, really exciting. It'll be a huge economic impact with families over 2 or 3 days in the hotels, and we're really excited to host that high school state tournament. The main reason I'm up here is it's Rio Frio week. Little bit of update. Unfortunately, we're not going to be running on the river, but we're still going to have a lot of fun. And even the pond was a little bit dicey. So those of you who are going to take the plunge will have the pleasure of going in a dunk tank. And I just want to say I'm not as competitive as some people are around here, but we do hope you guys will maybe step up your game this year a little bit. Finally, last update, Monday, we are cutting the ribbon on Boyd Park Playground. If you haven't been by there or heard about this project, I can't take credit for it. Rachel and her team secured this funding, but it has some unique play elements that we don't have anywhere else in the city, and the design is really cool, and the kids are already all over it. And it's kind of shocking we can cut the ribbon on a playground in January in Alamosa, but let's do it. So hope to see you there Monday, 4:30. And with that, that's all I have.
So go ahead.
That's it from a staff update. I feel he did an amazing job.
Yeah, I think Councilor Carson wanted to ask a question. I have a question about dunk tank, but
Me too. Since you're gonna do a dunk tank, I'd prefer like purified water. You know what I mean? And some of that fancy
You're
ice.
gonna have to talk to Chief Worth on the purified water, because he will be supplying the aqua.
And some of that purified ice too, I guess, we're going there.
yeah, and for me, I think my contract basically states that I do go first in the Dunkin' booth. Just make sure you know that. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. There we go. There
You
we
guys
go.
line up quick. It's first come, first serve. So we'll see you out there.
High noon.
Noon.
There you go,
Sunday.
Carson. Carson got my back.
Yeah.
So it may take your whole department to help you all. Well, I don't know. Heather already made the plaque already and got the sticker for you all being winners already. So
That's for 2025. See, we're in 2026.
yeah, but I know where you all are thinking, so it's all good. It's okay.
Just a reminder, there's cornhole, there's the bonfire, there's a lot of different activities. You can get credit for walking around the downtown and looking at the ice sculptures and engaging in that way as well. Just send me a text and I'll add the points to that spreadsheet, and I guess we'll just see where it goes from there.
Okay, and then on a serious note about the dunk tank, is there a certain location where you're going to be doing it?
It'll be on the fishing jetties at Blanca Vista Park. And just to note, Heather has approved wetsuits for the dunk tank.
What?
So if you
What?
you want
There was
Wetsuit?
any rules on what you wear.
Who said
You can bring
wetsuit?
What you want.
What? Wetsuits? You will seriously? Wetsuits? I cannot believe it. You're getting soft.
I'm not even doing it. So
Wetsuits.
Well, if you guys are doing wetsuits, I want like a warming hut.
So the warming hut is actually on Eric. Talk to Eric about the warming hut. He had that idea for a while, and I
I mean,
think
you
he's
know.
in charge of that.
well, and we
It's
were
gonna be
gonna
push.
have Kathy provide adult beverages to help warm us up too, but she is out, so.
So we're still
I
at
need
high noon,
cocoa.
still high noon for the polar plunge Friday night. Just so we're clear, we're still gonna be doing anything around the golf course?
So Friday night, we usually plan a cross-country luminaria ski, and it turns into a walk. It's still a pretty cool experience to walk around with the little bags of lights, and that I'm not sure if that's going to be at the golf course or still around Blanca Vista, but we'll put it out on the media where it is and
Okay.
get the word out.
And we get points for that too, right?
Can we bring our dog?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes,
We could bring our dog to that on Friday.
you got a
night.
leash, you bring your dog.
All righty. Go ahead. This is the time.
And I hate to derail the whole conversation, but taking it back to the playground, thank you for reminding us all about Boyd Park. But you also mentioned that it has some unique elements that we don't have in the city. You might as well just put a yet on the end of that, because I know Cole Park is coming, so I know that you're eyeing a lot of different things, and I'm excited to see what you have in mind for that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Carson, any more comments? You good? You good? Everybody's good? Okay. That's it, Ms. Sanchez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no more staff announcement. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brings us to council comments. Any Councilor Young-Vijo?
Yeah, I wanted to just again elevate those folks that Lance talked about earlier. That what kind of shook me a little bit. Lawrence and Lydia passed away due to exposure, homeless folks in our community. And that's a tough thing to swallow. So I want to elevate their names. And on a much, much lighter note, go Broncos.
All right, thank you. Wow, I can't believe we almost forgot about the Broncos thinking about Rio Frio. That means we're doing good with Rio Frio. But any other comments, council, before we go into executive session? Okay. So, I'm gonna need someone to make a motion for the executive session.
Mayor, I move that we move into executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024B and E to receive advice from the city attorney and determine negotiating strategies and instruct negotiators pursuant to a claim filed against the city.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? If not, please start. Sorry.
I am going to have to recuse myself from this executive session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, and I apologize. Okay, we have, Mr. Martinez is recusing himself. We have a motion, second. No further discussion. Please start voting. Ms. Martinez?
The motion carried unanimously.
Okay, we will go into executive session and no further business will be discussed after we leave executive session. Okay, it is January the 21st, 2026, 8:41 p.m. This meeting is officially adjourned.